Bot lane also interesting. Carzzy's been on a bit of a tear. Has yet to play a champion that doesn't have a stacking component. We'll see if that changes today. And also see, you know, what SK Gaming want to prioritize. 1-1 for them, 2-0 for Team Vitality. Vitality closing out with a 3-0 start would be very impressive. I think catching a lot of people off guard, how much better they have looked. Because obviously the gap between winter and spring is pretty tight, and it's very hard for teams to like really alter their trajectory significantly. Usually that's why we see these big roster shuffles, people hoping for a honeymoon phase, a fresh start. But credit to Vitality, sticking with what they've gotten, doing very well in this week one is another Kalista first pick.
Smolder's open.
Smolder is open.
Smolder's open. Oh.
Smolder's open.
I mean, Carzzy,
And they
just
have
said
red
he's
side so they can
stacking.
counterpick support.
Oh,
so.
yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Wait, did they agree? That feels like a Mac move to just like
Well, you can
walk
still
over to the
take
opposite
Talia
side.
Smolder, right? And then you're like, wait, we get the strongest mid laner and we get a really strong bot laner as well. That seems busted.
You know what's cool though? Is speaking of, we talked about brands in the previous game. Smolder's PR much better than Yumi's, I will say, because we've yet to have
That's
the
true.
audience boo for a Smolder, I think.
Are you just trying to encourage them?
Yes.
Or is that- oh, okay.
Yes, I am. But maybe it doesn't get locked in here. I mean, it's not like Vitality have to lock it now. If they do want Smolder, they just take their time. Instead, they take away the Nautilus. Obviously, the premier blind pick, great pairing with Kalista. SK now can maybe take the Renata, maybe take something else. Depends on what they really want to do here.
It's a bit weird though, because I
Braum.
feel like you could have gone, because you still got options, right? I think you can still take Renata, you can still take the Braum, you've still got like, even if you want to go Alistair in that bot lane, right? So there's no pressure on SK to try and take a support. I actually think you take jungle and maybe an answer for the mid lane, and then you can go, hey, we actually get a Douglas where you either, he is on a jungler where he's not comfortable because we get to ban my jungles, or you don't take the AD card and you get to ban Smolder anyway, right? So I think a bit of a mistake from Vitality taking the Nautilus here. I think you should have just gone for the Smolder and then you look for the counter pick on whether they go for the mid lane or the jungle, whatever the way that works.
Well, now they've set up jungle support AD when the Renata does come through, so their bot lane matchup now confirmed. Vitality have the luxury of picking what they so choose. Smolder and Senna, both the champions cards he's already played. Senna might be the priority here. This could be a very tough early laning phase, though. Really hard to get souls off of a double-ranged opposing lane.
Yeah, I know even yesterday we saw was Carzzy, who ended up taking the fasting Senna until he got to the later point of the game. Then Hilly ended up taking the support item as well, and then he starts the farm. So be interested to see how it kind of ends up working out here across the board. But yeah, I don't know. I think this motor maybe could have got away with it. Maybe you're a bit worried about it in the more aggressive matchup, that you're just going to end up falling too far behind and you set yourself up too easily for dives, especially with things like the bailout and stuff. Maybe they don't feel comfortable, but Senna having a bit of an easier time in that regard. But I don't disagree with this from Vitality. We already talked about, hey, look, either you take your jungle or you don't take your mid laner. And in this case, with the mid laner being foregone, they're just going to ban away the mid lane picks that can do well. Wouldn't be surprised to see the Orianna. Oh, Orianna's already gone. But even if you wanted to go for someone like a Jace, just to make sure you get rid of anything that's a bit of a problem here.
You got Jace gone, you got Orianna gone, so at least for Niski, the pool is getting steadily pinched. The Ahri also going to get taken away.
I just threw out a name because I was desperately trying to cough, and I was like, just throw out a name so I can cough before I have to cough on mic.
Just make a champion name up. No one's going to second guess you. They're going to be like, what, he's got deep knowledge. The next champion. There's so many now.
Oh, did I leak?
Yeah, of course the Urgot, of course, could show up here, but probably not great into the Alawi matchup, so holding that one out. Yeah, okay, so look, ultimately you've got bot lane locked in from the side of Team Vitality, as well as what we assume to be mid lane. People are a bit split on Talia jungle. I kind of hate it, generally. Douglas has shown comfort on very few champions. One of them is the Rel, which has been taken away, and the Brand, which obviously got hit a bit with nerf bat. Rumble, also taken. Again, given Photon's performance yesterday, no reason to let him have that. But if Poppy does get locked in, we might be looking for more magic damage in the top lane for Photon, see if there's anything else that he would like to go towards.
I actually don't hate something like a Gragas in this position either. He kind of works well for Photon on the top side. Essentially, you end up, the only problem is a lot of sides that you don't really want to play towards. So I think they are setting up for Photon to play a little bit more aggressive in that top lane. So maybe they're even hoping Irrelevant goes for something like, even if he does go towards his Jax, which has been left open, maybe you take Gwen for Photon on that top side, and you still kind of just have something that's a pain for Kalista to deal with, because it's the not being able to auto-attack the Gwen is a bit of annoyance. But it's actually going to be the Volley Bear, okay?
I really like SK Gaming's draft. You've got nice early to mid-game power. I think obviously that a lot of teams have been falling back to scaling, and Vitality might be in the same boat with the Senna now on their team, but the Volibear is incredibly powerful. Good blind picks for Relevant are always going to feel solid. This is a guy who can absorb so much pressure, and you would expect him to, given the Kalista Renata bottom side. SK Gaming have the tools to play there, and the response from Photon is Smolder! Okay, all right.
So it is it Talia jungle,
Hold
Poppy
on.
top, and then Smolder mid? I think that's the way we're going.
Hold
here.
on. We just wait. Is it Smolder top? It's not. It's not.
No.
All right, no, it's not Poppy mid. 'Cause there's no way Poppy mid.
So it is Poppy top into the
Volibear,
and then you just go with the Smolder mid.
And remember that Smolder has been played top lane once in LPL and once in LCK. It is 1 win, 1 loss. It is Smolder top.
Okay, I'm kind of surprised.
Welcome to the most cursed timeline. Smolder is no longer only a bot laner, pending the results of this game. You no longer just have to worry about AD Smolder, you have to worry about top lane Smolder. The only peace of mind you will have, dear audience, is that he is hot-fixed on the version of League of Legends you are playing now and is much worse.
Yeah, but like, stacks on stacks.
Stacks on stacks on stacks. Also, I don't love this matchup.
No, this is the thing that I was going to say is like, I think you put Smolder mid here simply because, well, Volibear is the problem for a Smolder, where he turns off the tower and nowhere's safe.
No, I want to go a step back. I don't know if you pick Smolder. I'm not going to. I don't know what else is left in the tank here, but Volibear has, if Volibear is just allowed to auto the wave, he's got built-in wave clear. You know what, we'll find out. The first Smolder top in the LEC, 3rd in the major regions. Time to see if Photon has what it takes to make this champion look even more imbalanced. Isma continuing to flash the Mad Lions flare. Committed to the bit.
Welcome to Summoner's
It's like, they don't want you, bro. I'm sorry.
I mean, flashed when he was killing him yesterday, which I thought was confident. All right.
30 seconds
So, we saw
spawn.
some good heads-up level 1 strategies in the games yesterday about like placing vision and brushes to kind of set up range advantage in top lane, but Hylissang has been caught out now. Does get to start with a Doran shield. Karzi's also started with Doran's blade, so it's not clear who will and will not be farming on the bottom side at this point, as neither have a support item.
Yeah, they did the same yesterday, and then they ended up taking it where Karzi went for the support item. Just about gets the ward here, both sides. But yeah, the fact that Hilly had to burn its flash already, not the best of signs for when you're up against Exekick and DOS. A ton of range in that matchup, they're going to be able to shove you in, and just opens up Isma to kind of have a bit of a target for that bot side. At least Hilly has the aftershock, so if he does end up getting some sort of CC off in that dive, make it a little bit tougher. But yeah, at least getting even more control now for Exekick and DOS in the 2v2, which is just perfect for Isma.
And one of the things I really like about not starting with a support item in this context is you can adjust. Supa talked about this in one of the games, where if you start to fall behind, you put support item on Senna, and then enemies putting a ton of resources into trying to shut down a champion who's still going to get a pretty decent amount of gold, and it really frees you up to just leave bot lane alone. Whereas if Karzi and Hylissang maybe get a surprise kill or a surprise advantage, Senna goes back, buys normal items, and can start to take over. So, like that flexibility, even if it does cost you a bit in terms of early gold, advantage, you can still do a lot.
Yeah, I'm still worried about this top lane matchup though. Double Ghost for Relevant and Photon, but the problem is that the Q and Relevant, like, at max stacks, you usually end up maxing Q second on Volibear, so you're still like, I'll go a bit into the game before you get all that, but I mean, he gets 36% movement speed, and then he's just going to Ghost as well. He's just going to run you down, so this is going to be a bit of a tough one for Photon. I'm surprised to see him opt into this. He obviously knows something I don't about the matchup, though.
Well, the good news is, at least in the early levels, right, and certainly before items come in, is that you have range advantage. You're going to be able to have the luxury of kind of just last sitting with your Q and chilling until Volibear crash the wave. Downside against Volibear is he has natural built-in wave clear in the passive, right? He doesn't have to use any mana to get push advantage here. So I think it's tricky, but we'll see how Photon navigates it.
Well, he has to navigate a dive, because immediately trying to use that push from a Relevant on their top side, they're going to try and dive, and this is what my worry was, is that you don't really have a huge amount of places to try and hide, and
you have no utility. This is rude. That's a baby dragon, guys. This is animal cruelty. But it is a bear.
Nature is
I guess it's
metal,
nature.
right? Yeah.
No, I guess actually I take it back.
We got a dragon, a horse, and a bear. What?
Yeah, okay, you're right. That's just nature. That's just survival of the fittest. See if Photon is the fittest. Daglas is here to cover. SK definitely have the stronger 2v2, but Isma doesn't quite get into range there. Crash downs over the wall, maybe hoping to contest the red at least a little bit. as Photon just continues to stack. And this has only further isolated the SK bottom lane, which is great for them. And very frustrating for Carzy, who would love to just get more souls, would love to just get more stacks, would love to recall maybe and buy a support item, but it's just going to be infinite pressure on the bottom side for SK.
Yeah, and that's the... Oh, Video going to get hit as well.
Niski? Look back, but Vito taking the worst end of that trade. SK are kind of just winning everywhere, Rob.
Yeah, it's not looking particularly pretty, and I wanted to give a shout out to Niski because honestly, I think he's been playing absolutely phenomenal this weekend. He's had some great plays, his dives.
Dive on the bottom side, Cleanse coming out from Carzy, nice flash back there, but living just for a brief moment longer. Can they finally take down the kill? One more auto should do it. First blood for SK. Good dive to kick things off.
A TP from Video as well to try and deny any further play on towards Hylissang. Douglas is going to make his way down, but I think SK are just out.
Flash out. Mad Lions logo. All right. App has now reset. 1.3k gold lead for SK. 850 of that is in the hands of Exakick, which is a great start for him.
And Photon in a lot of trouble now because he's going to take a ton of damage off this play. So, yeah, I don't know what's happening here.
Well, again, the more that you get these little autos and these little hits down on Rurel, the more stacks you get. 25's first breakpoint. Photon's already hit that, so that's not too bad. But everything else is bad. Everything else is looking really tricky. Total gold.
Fire.
SK. Rob, never mind. We'll talk about this on the podcast or something because there's just so much to unpack in this draft and the thought process of Vitality. We're just going to have to ask them afterwards about the Smolder, I think is the reality of the situation.
Yeah, I mean, look, realistically, this is a hyper-defensive composition from Vitality, right? Yep. The idea is that Douglas is going to be able to match Isma on a ton of different locations, and it's like, cool, I've got the steadfast presence. I can try and make sure that I'm not going to... you're not going to be able to engage and play around where you want to. The biggest problem, though, is that you just auto-win the lanes. So Niski's already got the win over Video. X-Kick and DOS are getting good control over bot, and Photon isn't stacking quick enough to really be relevant here against the Volibear. So, in the grand scheme of things, cool. Now SK, go stack your dragons, go stack your Void Grubs, because you just have 3 lanes that are continuously pushing, and Vitality are kind of running around trying to match it, but not really doing a great job of it.
Yeah. And I think the person who's suffering the most in this whole exchange isn't even Photon, it's Carzy.
Yeah.
You know, barely any stacks. Again, ideally for Senna, regardless of role, you want at least one melee champion that you kind of Q auto every now and again to at least pick up an easy.
As I was going to say, you know it's bad when the farming support is behind on goals and the fasting support. So
yeah,
it's just overall not looking great. And yeah.
And I'm wondering if there was something else in the tank in terms of what they thought they would be able to get done early game with the Smolder, or if they just firmly believe that if they go late enough, it does not matter, because there's losing gracefully in these early game, and there's getting your shit pushed in, and they're getting their shit pushed in.
And this is, see, I started my career casting the Shy, where he would bring out a Nivea top lane, get absolutely bodied. Bring out, I don't know, you know, Azir top lane, get absolutely bodied.
Absolutely bodied.
So I am well used to seeing these weird picks in the top lane and going, hang on a second, lads. This doesn't seem like the best idea.
Do you think Photon came into the game yesterday and said, that's right, coach, I 1v9. You now have to let me play Smolder top like you promised.
He actually went in and said, I am the Photon. That's what he did, yeah.
The single Photon. You can have neutrons, you can have electrons, but there's the one Photon.
Is that Al-Gaib?
That's right. How many more times can we sneak in a Dune reference? That's the big question. A lot would be my guess. Yeah. Okay, SK, with their infinite priority, have taken both objectives. Surprising few. And credit to them, they leveraged their strength well on the bottom side. They pushed in, they pulled off a clean dive. A lot of this is what should happen on paper. Of course, Vitality maybe could have backed away, could have mitigated the dive, but it's really hard to stop SK from making money in the early game and at least taking some plates. So now it's a 1.5k gold lead for Exakick. He's set up to have kind of this montage performance. Hylissang walks up, pullback is good. Hylissang getting chunked out, but the good news is that Nautilus has gold. Not very much of it. In fact, only 151 more than the Renata, who's not farming, as you highlighted. But I feel like even if Hilly makes a small mistake, the beauty, as you highlighted to me, Rob, is that now that he has income, plays that might have looked questionable before, he can now get out of.
Yes. Irrelevant may not survive this, though. This has been greedy. I mean, 1 wave was fine. 2 waves might be a little bit much, although...
Just getting stacks. Photon's farming him.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. It's like a little irrelevant petting zoo on the bottom side. He doesn't do any damage yet, but just the stacks are stacking. 52, 8 minutes in, not bad. Hylissang tanky. Lockup is there. Root is there. Ulti now going to be forced out. Hook not quite going to take him to safety, but good that Hillsang's at least able to force the ulti out of Exekick.
He can survive 1 mess up. 2 mess ups, not so hot. 3 mess ups, though, might be coming through for Vitality.
It's just Stockcar's getting there faster, and now, yep, potentially another kill going to come through. Knockback is clean from Douglas. VTO holding on for a brief moment. Flash in, flick back as well. Mom coming to help. Photon still living. Another kill coming through for the Dragon. And I'm beginning to... It's a 3K gold deficit, and Vitality still managed to go even in the exchange.
It was a nice ult from Douglas. Ends up taking Irrelevant out of the fight, so it's a 2v3, and you can see Nisqy not fully sure how he wanted to go in or when he wanted to go in, but I mean, a 1 for 1, you kind of take it.
You absolutely take it. And this is what I will say, is that if SK get over-eager here and fight without Exekick, their gold lead is fake. And while we have criticized or questioned at the very least the Smolder, he's even in gold.
Yeah, I do think, though, like, you are actually fine to fight at this point just because of the champions have, right? Volley, the Nico, way stronger in the skirmish with the Rel here. I think it was just a little bit unfortunate. I think if Nisqy had gone in, like, half a second earlier, could have been able to get the kill, zones Photon off, maybe you get Isma out, but I can understand why he's kind of questioning how deep he wants to go with Irrelevant not being beside him, so instead just going to back it off. But again, it's 10 minutes into the game, you're about to lose a bot tower with essentially no real pressure on the map apart from, hey, we got a couple of Void Grubs. So I think Vitality, the biggest problem I'm seeing here is Karzi's not getting time to really get to his items. Photon not getting the chance to scale because you're just losing out of the map space. And then you're just stuck in your base as SK continue to take more and more of these neutral objectives.
Definitely tough. I think the pressure is still on SK, though, to just further snowball this lead. You don't want to give Vitality too much time. They're going to have excellent wave clears. They get those first items under their belt. So for now, you're in just a hugely favored state because there's just not enough wave clear there quite yet. But as Photon gets more stacks, more items, as VTO gets more stacks and items, it's going to be hard to find that angle. Flash forward, handshake from DOS. Isma now ready to follow up. Excellent hostile takeover onto VTO. Clean pick on the bottom side. Nisqy still on the chase. Gonna go for the ult first, just to hit confirm the root follow-up. Well played, good diligence, but Douglas still a very fast Yordle. Is he fast enough? No. Pushback coming through. SK get another one. 5-1 the kill score, 5K gold lead. SK have been winning the entire 10 minutes of this game.
And even the movement here from Irrelevant covers mid tower, so you don't end up losing there. Yes, you'll get Photon with a little bit of pressure on towards the top side, but not going to be anything to read right home about. So you're not losing out as much for SK as you go for a lot of these plays. You're still catching a lot of the farm in multiple different positions, and now they're just going to rotate Kalista up towards the top side with Void Grubs up and use the fact that they're, I mean, you've already got Kalista and Rel with the only 2 completed items in the game. Actually, take that back, Hextech Protocol completed for Nisqy there as well, so you're in a phenomenal spot here as SK to just punish off of this 1-item spike.
And Karzi has to be careful. He has cleanse, so he feels confident enough to step up, but burning through a lot of mana there. This is pretty tough for Vitality as a whole. SK trying to get mid prio first. Hillsang beefy enough to step forward for a brief moment, but once he sees Exekick, probably just gonna have to back off.
But this is the thing, right, for Vitality, like, you have just fake items. This is a fake item. This is a fake item. Like, these actually don't give you any stats. Like, it's just like, hey, how do you try and commit to this? So
Picture
I think SK
looks good, item bad.
Yeah, but that's the thing. I think, like, SK should actually be contesting for these Void Grubs. I mean, look, I know Dragon is up. Well, Dragon's just taken, but I think you could have just forced Vitality off of both of these objectives, to be perfectly honest with
Well, now they're just trying to force mid,
if they can.
it looks like. Get a little bit more. Hillsang does manage to hook out. Nisqy now wandering in. That is not a real melee minion in the pit. Knockback from Douglas again, good. But meanwhile, Hillsang gonna get cut down. Wave crashing into the tower of SK, so they're gonna struggle to force down that tier 1, but they want to transition this advantage up to the top side of the map. Struggle for them is both top and mid already pushed in, so there's not an immediate opportunity to take a tower. Midwave does recenter though.
Yeah, I was wondering if they're going to hold Irrelevant here in this mid lane, because they still, you could have potentially gone for a dive on, like, if Karzi ended up poking up, or Video poked his head in here, with the ultimate from the Volley Bear, but instead, just going to be happy to get more turret plates on towards this Kalista. Like, 4 kills, 3.3k gold lead. Going to be immediately working up towards that Gwinsu's, or maybe even if he wants to Ruin's Hurricane at some stage in this game as well, just because I feel like if you hit onto multiple people, well, it doesn't matter. Like, you are massive as Exekick here. It's kind of absurd.
Yeah, VTO hasn't even completed an item yet. And once Photon hits level 11, he can do the pre-hotfix Smolder maneuver of just ulting every other wave. But I still don't think it's going to be enough. I think at a certain point, SK, especially with the Volibear, where most of the time we talk about Volibear, we don't talk about his ability to dive towers. It's not the most important part of his kit when you're not in solo queue, but they're probably just going to start diving towers right now. Knockback's good, but the immediate follow-up is there. Ooh, whiffs completely from Isma, though. Maybe anticipating a sidestep. Carzzy is going to get pulled back and killed. It is only a support, but X-Kick now unstoppable.
Yeah, I don't know. I think Isma was trying to force or predict the flash from Video as he came over the wall, so that's why he went a little bit skew with it. But either way, they so much get Carzzy off the back. And again, you're just going to keep this pressure up where Irrelevant, all he has to do is just half push the sideways because he's like, well, Photon can't contest me at any point in time because they just run him down. So you're losing out on sideline pressure in both Niski, who's going to appear against Hylissang, going to be able to take a turret off of this next wave, I imagine, because he got the four grubs. And I mean, where's the control on the map for Vitality?
Yeah, I wonder if you're in a position right now where you're so far ahead as SK that you just like reset top and bot wave and then just run mid and actually just 5-man force. So I don't know if there's a lot that Vitality really can do to stop. Smolder ult, though, is kind of the big obnoxious thing. Photon loves raining fire from the sky in the form of dragons or robots, and it does stop a lot of those more aggressive push options. But Herald going down in favor of SK. Again, this is the SK Gaming show. They've played this game super well. I don't want to take any credit away from them. They're making clean plays left and right, but Vitality put themselves on the back foot in picks and bans, it feels like, and SK have punished at every turn as Niski's now getting caught out. No damage to finish him off, however.
They will get to real items in a little bit. Vitality will be able to do damage, but here you go. You called this. The 5-man mid. Hey, we're just going to take this turret.
Push in, send all. Niski in trouble. Pull back. Root is good. Ulti to follow. Now flash forward. 3-man from Niski. Exit now dominating. Just continue to lay down. Photon trading back a bit of damage. Niski mounts up in the Herald to survive. He's going after Photon. He just drifts right through him. Oh, it's the Cars point all over again, baby. Fast and furious. SK want to end this one quick. They got dinner plans.
Hey, apparently they're just going to absolutely mow down Vitality. 2 towers taken off of that, and the Rip Herald faded into the distance on that top side. Beautiful stuff. Again, you just don't have damage picked up by Vitality yet, so even with Niski being that low, hops into the middle of everyone and still manages to get out.
I thought he just hopped in the Herald. Can you watch that? Yes, thank you, observers. Let's take a look at how this started. So, Vitality. Niski is overstepped. He has skipped a step. Vitality are like, we are here to punish you. They forget they are broke. They are so broke. They do not do damage.
And then even then, it's just Tower gets taken here. But Vitality all kind of group up here. They get slowed thanks to the volley E. Carzzy ends up overextending here because he thinks he can get some damage off. Irrelevant destroys him. Niski flashing forward here picks off 3 members, which is huge. And then immediately into the Rip Town. It's perfect timing.
Montage play. Obviously, they were going to win that fight regardless, but credit to Niski. I've seen people mess that play up and immediately crash into the wall. I've never seen someone get away with it, so well done to him. And you can kind of see, you know the vibe now. They know the vibe. They know. Yeah. Look, this if Vitality win this game, I will give them credit. But we all know when they walk away, they won't thank their coach. They won't thank the fans. They will look the balanced team dead in the eyes and say thank you if Vitality can win. But it feels impossible. There should be absolutely no way.
I mean, you're still just under 100 stacks away on Photon. He's not really a threat. If you do get there, it's nice to have the execute, but you need to get to the execute damage, and I just don't see anyone dealing damage. DOS flashing forward.
DOS getting aggressive. VTO going to get cut down again. Quick pickup there, handshake, and I will say, DOS with the lead on this Renata, you know, all the way back even to last year in winter when SK were playing well. He's just really solid, really plays with a lot of confidence, and I respect that.
He's been in the soft lane farming, he's down 800 gold. It just feels bad. And it's not like he's trying, but it's just SK are that far ahead. It doesn't matter, like, 3rd Dragon goes down, they already got the pickup video, you're not getting anything out of that. And it's 17.5 minutes. They are 13-1. All that remains on the outskirts of the Vitality base is that top tower, and I don't know if that's going to survive either.
I don't know either. Hylissang certainly is not going to survive. Carzzy now running. Isma determined to run this kill down. Irrelevant. Jumping in. And that's a killing spree. Folks, it's an 11k gold lead. Dida, we can only say the numbers so many times. You all can count. You can read, I hope. One number is significantly bigger than the other, and that's about the only analysis you need this late in the game. Early game, you could have talked about comp, you could have talked about how they played it, pressure, skipping steps, whatever you want, but at this point, it's just an SK victory lap played out in slow motion.
Yeah, there was decisions in the draft here that I just felt gave them no real hope of being able to find success. And now SK might have overextended a little bit here, but Vitality, even with just two men, a support and jungle that are essentially just double supports wide array, and Vitality are terrified.
That's right. That is
Oh, no.
credit how far ahead they are. VTO going to go for the flick back here. Morel going to accept that one. VTO only has one item. Carzy only has one item. Oh, this is potentially Triforce coming up for Photon second for the top lane build. The adaptation instead of the Essence Reaver. Saying again has money, so can walk into brushes a bit more confidently. Smolder. Vitality know they can't overcommit in that fight. If they can kill Exekick, it's a different story. And uh-oh. That's just a melee minion. Wrong! It's Niski! Surprise, Photon! You were out of position. You didn't even know it. SK, grab another one.
Yeah, I think Photon is working up towards that Iceborne Gauntlet, so at least it'll be a little bit, where you get a little bit tankier. Be all right, but yeah, I think it's going to be a wall before. I don't even actually, to be fair, he's not even getting there. Let's be real. This game's over. SK are just going to dive topside here.
Guys, it's our job to be honest with you sometimes. And sometimes that means telling you there's no way to come back. Now, we could be wrong. Crazy things happen, but there should be no way Vitality can win this. SK go in, handshake goes back, knockup is there. Daglas spinning his little hammer, praying to knock someone away, but just uses it to create a bit of space, and another tier 2 will fall. Baron hasn't spawned yet, just to be clear.
And 2.5 minutes until Hextech Soul.
VTO hitting us with the thumbs up endlessly. Having a great time, he wants to remind us.
I can feel it.
Yeah.
I too love these kind of games in my solo queue, where this 16-1 I've been slamming FF and no one will listen to me. Just please, for the love of God, let me out.
Imagine Felix on your team, you're like, please, some games are lost.
Or just, this is our A-Rams. Let's
Yeah.
be real.
That's yeah. Some guys quoting like My Hero Academia like it was written by a philosopher. Like, come on, you can never give up. All Might wouldn't give up. But he wouldn't give up. So Photon's hoping, holding on to hope. 168 stacks.
One day you will get there. Isn't it upsetting that it's just like maybe he can still have a chance when he gets there, but it's like
there's this lingering doubt in the back of
I
both
know
of
he
our
can't,
minds.
right? Like every part of my being is like he can't, but this thing
can't.
just
But there's the question. As Hylissang walks in, offers himself up to SK on a silver platter. They politely accept. They like the flavor of Nautilus. Happy to have another kill. Hostile takeover comes in. Carzy gonna auto attack his own ward, and SK looking to knock that down. Mom intervening, not super effective. Kind of negligent parenting, and there's Niski. Unstoppable as he goes over the wall. Baron also now gonna get taken out. Thumbs up for VTO, he's still okay. Woo! That's right, Berlin. Keep that energy going. SK deserve it. They deserve all the love in the world. The problem is they won the game 12 minutes ago. But League of Legends is a hard game to finish, so you have to be disciplined, you have to be diligent, you have to finish it out clean. You can't give the enemy team any opportunities to come back.
it's just that, like, to go from Vitality that are the 2-0 over the course of this weekend
I was ready.
this, I'm like,
oh man, the stories we were ready to tell about Photon versus Irrelevant, how hyped this matchup was going to be, what VTO was going to do. And now,
what's he gonna do?
he's getting run down by a bear. Which,
Understandable.
understandable. 4-0-5 for real. I just keep reading the scoreboard, Rob. I don't know what else to tell the people at home.
I think that Photon needs to die actually, yeah, twice more so he then on 4 deaths with everyone else, and then Hades just 0-5. I think that's the...
Because he's always a cut above.
Yeah.
All right. Niski keeps the pressure up. Vitality.
Get up!
This is their fight!
Get up!
The moment of opportunity passes, however. Poppy buys a bit of space. Mom again returning to the fold. She's all bark, no bite. Will not do much, as there's also a redemption coming in. VTO maybe, Miracle flick back onto 5. Can he find the angle? Niski going for the angle, jumps in, gets it! Both towers now disabled. Double kill! And in 23 minutes and a couple extra seconds, SK will obliterate Vitality.
Mom, looking a little bit more what they say spicy is in Germany rather than anywhere else in the world.
True. True.